Are you considering a move to Spanish Fork, Utah? This is Spanish Fork, Utah. Hey, my family moved back to Spanish Fork in the 1980s. Back then, Spanish Fork was a little sleepy town of about 9,700 people. Now, more than 46,000 people call Spanish Fork home. Now, Spanish Fork is near and dear to my heart and my wife's heart. We both grew up here, went to schools here. All of our siblings went to schools here and grew up here. Same thing with our parents. And so I want to talk about the 5 pros and cons of living in Spanish Fork, Utah. All right, let's talk about it. Before Canyon Creek, a lot of us would drive up to Provo or even on up to Lehigh to have some of these shopping options, and sometimes even up to Salt Lake. Just walking around this Canyon Creek area, we've got a J-Dogs, a Zupas, Cubbies, Mod Pizza, Five Guys, Starbucks, Roxbury, Costa Vida, Super Chicks, Neaters. So that's just in this part of the Canyon Creek. Across the street, there's a bunch more options for the fast casual dining. Also right here, we've got the Harbor Freight. Just across over there, you can see the Costco, and beyond that is the Macy's grocery store. Oh, there's also Handel's ice cream shop here in this little complex. Across the street over there, you got a Slim Chickens eatery. And then this is the brand new Longhorn Steakhouse that I was talking about. It just opened up within the last couple of days. Okay, I am in the north part of Canyon Creek. This is the newer section of Canyon Creek. I was on the south side of Highway 6 where the initial phase of Canyon Creek began, but over the last 7-8 years, they've really built out the north side of Canyon Creek. You can see you got all these stores here. Let me just kind of do a pan. Got all the big box stores over here. You got Lowe's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, just a whole bunch of stores, a lot of eateries. You got Mountain Mike's right here, Verizon, and there's like a banker credit union on every corner. You got Chili's over here. The movie theater's just behind us on the other side of this shopping complex right here. There's a Petco over there, and there's a Ross. I got my little girl with me today, and she loves coming over here. What is your favorite store in the Canyon Creek shopping district?
I like shopping next to TJ Maxx is up there. It's fun.
TJ Maxx is pretty fun, so's Five Below. What's your favorite thing to get at Five Below? What else? Yeah, she likes Zots. She told me she wanted me to buy her some Zots. Anyway, so again, one of the great things about Spanish Fork is this new development. Again, years ago, we used to have to drive up to Provo to get to any of these types of stores. Now you've got everything that you want right here in Spanish Fork. One more thing to keep in mind, right next to the Canyon Creek Shopping Center, there is a new IHC hospital, the Spanish Fork Hospital. All right, so in recent years, Spanish Fork City has added a lot of roundabouts, particularly in older parts of town. And while roundabouts are added to improve traffic efficiency and flow, some of them have been a little bit poorly designed as far as if you're pulling boats with trailers or campers. Just know that you're probably going to run over the curbs, and so you're going to want to know which ones of these roundabouts are a little bit small and which are a little bit bigger. I'm here at the main one here at 4th North. I think we're at 800 East, and this one's actually pretty wide, so I haven't had any problems going around this roundabout with my trailer and camper, but on some of the others I have. So just know that Spanish Fork, in an effort to improve traffic flow, has installed a lot of roundabouts. Now, being someone who lived in Europe for a couple of years, specifically Spain, they had roundabouts everywhere. I actually thought that they worked quite well, but just reading some of the community boards, comment boards, quite a few of the residents are complaining about the roundabouts being too small. But overall, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it is a con for some people. One great pro about Spanish Fork are all the amazing community parks. Right now, I'm right here at the Spanish Fork North Park. It might be a little bit of a hidden gem for some people, but it's just right behind the Costco shopping center here. But what a great park this is. Wonderful playground here, covered parts of the playground. There's lots of seating with benches, and there's pavilions for having picnics at. You've got some bathroom facilities back that way. There's also a splash pad over there. When my kids were younger, they've kind of aged out of liking splash pads, but when they were younger, we used to bring them over here all the time. They absolutely loved coming in the summertime and enjoying the splash pads. This is just one of the amazing parks in Spanish Fork. My other favorite that my kids absolutely love would be the All Abilities Park, the Adventure Heights Park, over more on the east side of Spanish Fork. What a beautiful park that is. And as the name implies, it's an all abilities park, so they've created that for people of all ability levels to be able to use it. It has a cute little waterfall creek running right down through it, lots of playground equipment, again, lots of seating and pavilions. There's even a little area where they've got like these little musical instruments the kids can play and have fun on, so it's really a cool amenity. Now, my personal favorite, and probably my wife's as well, would be the main park up Spanish Fork Canyon. That's the Canyon View Park. We grew up, I mean, that was one of the few parks that Spanish Fork had when we were kids, and we absolutely had fantastic memories of walking around that park. It's up in the mouth of Spanish Fork Canyon, lots of big trees. There's a pond that kids can fish at, several pavilions that you can rent out and enjoy, big fields for playing games, soccer, football, whatever you want on, and also the Spanish Fork River Trail goes right through that park as well. That's our favorite. The sports complex on the other end of the Spanish Fork River Trail, more on the west side, that is a great complex over there. They've got a bunch of baseball fields, soccer fields, football fields, pickleball courts, tennis courts, and so that's a huge community asset. And also, it's right next to the Spanish Fork River Trail. Now, let me just read off some of the parks that Spanish Fork has. There's the Abbey Court Park. That's more of a smaller community park in the neighborhood. Canyon View Park, Centennial Park, Dripping Rock Park, East Park, Harvest View Sports Complex, Kiwanis Park, Legacy Park, Lions Park, of course, North Park where I'm at right now. There's also Orchard Hills Park, the Russell Swinson Ballpark, where I remember growing up playing football games in the fall there. There's the State Park up by the Spanish Fork Junior High. Again, of course, you got the Spanish Fork River Park, the Sports Complex, the Volunteer Park, the Water Gardens Park. You know, whether you're enjoying the splash pad here at North Park or the hiking trails near Dripping Rock or catching ball games at the Sports Complex, there's a park for everyone in Spanish Fork. So let's talk about one of the cons. And I did mention the Canyon Creek Shopping District has a lot of eating options, but honestly, when it comes to a lot of fine dining and a whole bunch of shopping or dining options, it's a little bit limited in Spanish Fork. We do have, like I say, a Texas Roadhouse and the Longhorns and the Chili's and an Olive Garden. Those are probably your finest dining options you have, and they're great, but that's about it for Spanish Fork. There's a lot of fast casual eateries. There's a whole bunch of Mexican restaurants in Spanish Fork, which are wonderful. My favorite is Mi Rancherito. I think they call themselves Arrasos now, and that's a great place. But there's also a whole bunch of chicken places like Chick-fil-A and Super Chicks and just a bunch of just chicken sandwich type places. So, but when it comes to having a whole bunch of fine dining, you're going to have more options if you go to Center Street in Provo for downtown Provo, or even going on up to Salt Lake for more options when it comes to dining. Spanish Fork continues to invest in its future with new community resources. Behind me is the brand new library. My wife had her 30th graduation party here with all of her friends at the library. It's beautiful. That was my first chance to go inside this new library. So that's one great pro about Spanish Fork, is they're always investing in these great community assets. Now let's go check out the other new asset that they're working on. This is the new community recreation center. This center will have an indoor pool, have weight room, basketball courts, indoor track, rock climbing wall, fitness studio classes, a child care area for parents using the facility. They're also building a new senior citizen center for the senior citizens of the community. So Spanish Fork has done a great job in investing in these community assets like the new library and this rec center for the residents of Spanish Fork, as well as the great park system they've got going on. So these are some great benefits of Spanish Fork. Okay, so another one of my cons is just very limited entertainment here in Spanish Fork. You can see across Highway 6 on the other side of the Canyon Creek Shopping District, there is a movie theater. There's a Cinemark movie theater, but that's about it when it comes to entertainment. We don't have miniature golf, we don't have a Top Golf, we don't have axe throwing, all the type of the big city entertainment that you want. It's just not really here in Spanish Fork. You'll find yourself driving up to Provo Orem for more entertainment. Of course, if you want some of the professional sports teams to go watch, then you're going to be driving up to Salt Lake to watch the Utah Jazz or Utah Hockey Club or Real Salt Lake. From Spanish Fork right here, I'm going to say you're probably 45 to 50 minutes up to most of those venues in Salt Lake, so it's a little bit of a drive. Just know that if you want a lot of variety when it comes to entertainment options, there's just not a lot in Spanish Fork. You'll be going to other communities for that. All right, so without a doubt, my bonus pro for Spanish Fork is this Spanish Fork River Trail. As the name implies, it runs right along the the Spanish Fork River, and it actually runs for about 7 miles. I'm actually at the sports park section of the river trail. So this is more closer to town where we've got the sports park right here. You might be able to see right down off there. See, that's the river down in there. But this trail is beautiful. It starts up at the mouth of Spanish Fork Canyon up by the Dripping Rock area, runs all the way down here to the sports complex, and just past that, again, there's several other kind of spurs or trails that take off and head off into the main parts of the city. So that's kind of fun. I would say there's really like 3 main access points for the river trail. That would be up at the mouth of the canyon at the Canyon View Park up there. That's one spot, or the Dripping Rock. That's kind of by the Dripping Rock trail portion. So those are 2 good access points to the trail. Then you have the Poplar Drive area of the river trail. That's kind of the midway point. And so there's a trail there that heads off over towards the north up into the east bench of Spanish Fork, but that's a great access point. They do have some restrooms right there as well. And then of course I'm down here at the sports park complex, and there's a lot of parking down here to be able to hop onto this river trail. So without a doubt, people use this all times of the year. Like it's January 20 something right now, it's 35 degrees. I'm out here enjoying the trail, and you'll see people using this all year long. It's great for jogging, walking, biking, and just generally enjoying the scenery here in Spanish Fork. So that is my bonus pro, the Spanish Fork River Trail. So in addition to the Spanish Fork River Trail, I talked about how they have arms of that trail going all over the city just to improve the amenities of the city, and having a great place to go hiking and walking, rollerblading, jogging, whatever you want to do. So here's one of these great additions. I'm right here by the high school, but they have several of these trails throughout the city. So just going there again with the one of the bonus pros of having nice trails in Spanish Fork City. I'm right here next to Highway 6, closer to the downtown part of Spanish Fork. You see they've got more walking trails for the community to enjoy here besides the river trail. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful about the 5 pros and 5 cons of living in Spanish Fork. You know, if you found these helpful, you might also enjoy watching our video about that Spanish Fork Fit and Active activity that they have in Spanish Fork. You can watch that by clicking on up here. Or if you want to know more about the golfing here in Spanish Fork, they have a great golf course called Spanish Oaks Golf Course, and you can watch that video by clicking here. Hey, and I almost forgot, I've got a relocation guide to Utah Valley. I'll put a link to that in the description down below, and you can click on that to get your free copy of your relocation guide to Utah Valley. Again, if you're thinking of making the move in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 years, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap on that notification bell so you can stay current every time I drop another video about living in Utah Valley. And with that, we'll catch you on the next video.